Welcome to Late Breakfast, everybody. I'm Taurian B.
And I am First Class Regg.
Welcome back to another week of Late Breakfast. It's me, Taurian B, your hostess with the mostest, your moderator, your muter. We halfway through the year. It's been a rough one.
Oh, boy.
Let's talk about it. The best album so far of 2020.
Oh, man.
Right?
So
I don't even want to call it because something happened to them.
I'm not going to list them all because everybody we can say one or two of our favorite projects. It could be repeats. It doesn't matter. But let's just talk about it, and then we can say who we feel has the best album so far. We can do that.
I gotta throw out Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo.
Yes.
Got to.
Yes. Yes.
Has to be in the conversation. West Side Gun, Pray for Paris. And sleeper pick, because it's home team, Coat to the Friend, everything coming out of Brooklyn. I think some great. There's been a lot of great projects, but I think those three have been some key moments for me as far as music that's come out this year.
All right, since everybody's silent, right? Cosi said the two that I would have said, but for me, my sleeper pick, and I get teased for liking these guys a lot, but I'm a huge Run the Jewels fan. I know that some people
it's a great record, bro. It's a great record.
I love Run the Jewels.
It's a great record.
I'm a big fan of those guys. Killer Mike is one of my favorite rappers.
It's their last one, right?
I'm not sure, but they.
I don't think it's their last one.
I think they agreed to only do 4. I think that's what it was stated from the jump.
Well, they're going to do 4. This is 3.
Oh, I thought this was 4 already. Okay.
Yeah. So it's that's one of my favorite projects of the year, and then obviously I put Meet the Woo 2 in there. I treat that like an album. That's one of the projects that I listen to on repeat, and then Lil Baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correction. Run the Jewels 4 came out this year, so this is 4.
Okay, it is 4, right?
For me, I'm going with, and it's no particular order. Brent Faiyaz.
Sorry, my bad.
Brent Faiyaz, Don Toliver, Pop, Meet the Woo 2, Freddie Gibbs, Tame Impala.
All right, Eli.
Everybody that can.
Freddie Gibbs though, because he dropped 2 this year. Gibbs dropped 2.
Well, then I'm definitely going with the joint with Madlib.
Okay.
Well, no, did that come out this year?
It did. It came out
this year.
Came out 2019.
It did. It didn't come out at the beginning of this year.
Came out 2019. Came out in October.
It feels like it though. It should be counting.
Came out in October 2019.
Oh,
and listen, just by honorable mention, anything from Currency.
Every single one. Every single one. Every single one.
All bases.
I still feel like the year is too early to tell. I think
that's the point.
So it's a halfway point, bro. It's so far.
I don't know. You know what it feels like? It feels like a short NBA season. Like there's been so much going on. I don't think we haven't gotten major albums from major artists yet. Like none of the heavy hitters.
What's your favorite album of 2020 so far, Rob? Your favorite album?
It's only. Fuck you. Just Freddie Gibbs, honestly. A Lil Baby.
What have you been listening to all year, bro?
Freddie Gibbs.
Wale. What have you been listening to Wale?
All year?
Yeah, you ain't.
All he listens to is Wale.
You ain't listening to shit.
Sorry. Real quick. I'm sorry because I feel like women always just get brushed over. I want to give a big shout out to Chloe and Halle for dropping an amazing fucking project. It's flawless, hands down. They will win a Grammy, hands down. And Tiana Taylor for putting out the album she actually wanted to put out because this shit is bomb and not the bullshit that Kanye did for her way back when. Just please acknowledge those two if you haven't listened already. put them in your rotation. Thank you.
But
Keep
That Same Energy was an amazing seven track album.
That's cute, but it wasn't what the artist wanted. And this is the project that she actually wanted, and it actually sounds really good. Like
it does, but it's too long.
It does, but it doesn't hold a candle next to Keep That Same Energy.
Chris Brown put out 2 tracks 2 years in a row. Like no,
cocaine is a hell of a drug. Like we know that. Water is wet.
When you're doing that much coke, you can make a lot of songs.
Listen to it, Rob. You have many.
I'm listening to it. I like it. It's just a little long.
Yeah, it's super long.
Niggas can't listen to him.
A lot of things sound the same, so I don't.
That's what I was. To Shenae's point, that's what I was saying. It sounds very redundant after track 14. I'm like, yo, this album needs to end already.
It's like, okay, I get what you're doing. I get what you're doing.
Let it happen.
There's a couple of songs on there that drag.
If it was anything else, we would have been cutting their ass for putting out the same songs like niggas used to do to Pop Smoke last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because for Tiana to be such a full encompass artist, 7 was only 12 songs long.
7
and it hit it was flawless. So how 7 is flawless?
There we got a variety of sounds on there. Like this, you just like all the same.
You fucking okay.
Yeah. Yo, and I can't even hold. And I can't even hold you. I can't even hold you. The intro to Tiana's album is fucking cringeworthy. I'm sorry, I can't listen to that.
I listened to it the first time, and I can't do it again.
Yeah, like that whole process. You know, she's giving birth and she's crowning and she's dilating and nah, bro, I'm good.
At first, it's heartwarming and I give you that traumatized.
I don't need that intro ever, bro. Like I'm good.
Now that I've said this much, yeah. So mine.
Shenae's still going.
Shenae's still going.
Yeah, Shenae still go, girl.
I haven't really. I don't want to say I haven't liked any rap that has come out during quarantine, but it hasn't been from anyone that I necessarily care about that much. I've been listening to a lot of like R&B stuff, which is different.
So tell us who you like.
I'm getting there. Chloe and Halle, flawless. I like Kehlani's album.
Kehlani's amazing.
I like Division's album. I guess I'm biased, but it was good. But there's also like Popcorn is on there and Buju.
They're always good. That's not biased.
Exactly. And then JoJo.
Yes.
JoJo is different to you niggas. She ready.
Fire. She killed that. And I'm very happy for her because, you know, it's a big move with all her background story. So that shit was
her shit is crazy. Reg?
For me, I like myself have been listening to a lot of R&B, but for rap albums, Boldy James, The Price of Tea in China.
Oh my God.
And Royce da 5'9", The Allegory. Those are 2 big ones. And they just happen to be from Detroit. So what's up? We got 2. We got 2 winners this year. Don't look at me like that, Chloe.
Reg, are we really,
and you got 42
ready to have that allegory conversation? We can have that.
We can have it. We can have
that conversation.
We can have it. Another time. But
another time.
For R&B, I do want to piggyback off what Shenae said with the Division album because that is an amazing, amazing album. I still listen to that. Snow wasn't this year. That was last year. But I still listen to that too. So, yeah. But those are my picks.
I meant to say, it was one album that I forgot to say, and y'all probably going to throw tomatoes at me. But I did an album review for it. And I started re-listening to Jay Electronica and Jay-Z's album.
Yeah.
And with the times now, I know it's frustrating because Jay-Z is so heavily featured on the album. So I think that was the frustrating part. But in the times that we're in now, and then I'm revisiting it, I'm like, all right, you know, we're mad that Jay Electronica took so long, but it seems like he knew something was on the horizon. And he dropped it.
So wait, are we giving him credit because he was biblical?
I'm not giving Jay that much that much credit. I'm not doing it.
Nah,
I'm
not giving him on that kind of time. Like all I'm saying is Jay Electronica is always on that time. He's always been on that time.
He could have always been on the third eye is open. Well,
okay, so he's been on that type of time, and a broken clock is right twice a day. What's your point?
Wait, Kort, what were you saying?
Good album.
He's always been on the Hotep wave, like since he came out 20 years ago. But and to Taurian's point, yeah, I was actually gonna bring up that album. I'm not a Jay Electronica fan, never been. My niece got more songs than him before this album came out. But
send that shit.
But I did revisit it just because I, being a music fan like all of us, I revisited and I gave it some time, and I'm not mad at it. It's really good, and I think with in the current political and racial climate with everything that's going on, and to Taurian's point, it was right on time. It's really what we needed to hear as far as being people of color and Black men out here. It's the message and the underlying theme in the album is something that needs to be celebrated.
I don't think so.
Get him off the call.
I'm
beginning to really feel like the only person.
I just think that what's it called? That Jay Electronica doesn't ever need to be praised for anything he does or contributes to hip hop culture ever at all.
Wow. I wasn't going to say all that.
I did, but I will say feel like that.
I feel
but I've always felt
Hov has proven 2 times in a row that he is only good feature album he's done is him and Kanye. I didn't need him for Love Is Everything, and I didn't need him for this album either.
Yeah, bro, and it's just like it's your
made this
project.
album.
If it's your first project and you coming out with Hov, and Hov is on the majority of the project, let
me ask you a question. If you were gonna drop your debut album and Hov said, "Let me be featured as the feature artist on your album," you gonna say no?
Stormzy.
Listen.
If I can just answer that.
Even though, yes, you are correct. If I was an artist and if Hov wanted to be on my project, I'm not gonna knock it. But if I'm a true artist, the way that I hold myself, the same way that Jay Electronica calls himself the God MC, if I'm a God MC, I don't need another God MC overshadowing me on my own fucking project. Hov is great, and Hov stands out on that project way more than Jay Electronica. Well, fuck out of here. Fuck Jay Electronica. I don't give a fuck about that guy. Fuck. And your stupid ass hoodie with your fucking water and forest in the background. What the fuck?
Go ahead, I think that we're trivializing some great messages that Jay Elect has given us over the years. I think that we're not really. I think that we should I think some homework needs to be done. Personally, I think so. I think that Stormzy actually talked about it, British rapper, back in 2019, how Hov wanted to be on Heavy Is the Head, and he told him no. He said that you don't fit the aesthetic, right? And this is a grime artist telling one of the biggest rappers ever, no, I don't need you to be a feature on my album. So Eli has a great point. Sometimes selling out for the name isn't always the best if it doesn't speak to your artistry. But I still think that he's way off with the Jay Elect tape. That was horrible.
I just want to get back to Rob real quick. Rob, did you say that Jay-Z did it? You're saying Jay-Z did a bad job on this album?
Jay-Z was spitting some of his best lyrics.
He spit some of his best lyrics, but unfortunately, I think that they're going to fall on deaf ears because it's a collaborative project with Jay Electronica.
I'm going to argue you down because people are going to check for the album more because Hov is on it.
I think people are not checking for that album.
The only reason I listen to it,
but that's because of the climate that we live in.
Because Hov was on it.
Yeah, but Hov is on it. But I understand what Rob is saying. It's just you giving us great bars, but it gets lost in the sauce. Like I just said, and what Rob is saying, and what Cosi's saying is just that Hov did amazing. Nobody's arguing that Hov didn't live up to our expectations. Because that's Hov. That's just what he does. He does that naturally. But as opposed to Jay Electronica, it gets lost in the sauce. Hov is giving us all these bars, but you have Jay Electronica either following or coming before him. And once you hear Jay Electronica, the desire and the passion that you have for these bars are just not there.
It's too much of it. If you had one whole verse on your album, we're used to that one whole verse on your album, and it makes the album prolific. When Hov said, niggas killed Trayvon Martin, the streets is done. Like, they didn't kill Zimmerman. That was a highlighted bar on Drake's album. When did
Drake,
the Biggie...
who's going to have an incredible album.
It's not the point. It's the marker. It's the marker.
The album is still going to be good.
Okay, so we do it again. You go to Meek's album. You have the Ross, Meek, and Hov track. Hov mentions the Biggie flow and all of that on the Who Shot Ya beat. It's a very prolific verse. The things with Hov that we've always appreciated is when he gets in that bag, he's the feature artist, not a collaborative artist throughout the whole album. I didn't need that because now it dilutes your quality of your bars now. Because I was not looking for you on this album all the way through. I was looking for
Jay-Elect has no bars.
Where the fuck did you come from, Jay-Z?
Jay-Elect.
What the fuck? Like, it's mad annoying, bro. Like,
no one ever about a Jay-Z feature. Shut the fuck up, Rob. What the fuck?
All right, so what do y'all think about Lil Uzi's album, Eternal Awake? A lot of people enjoyed that album. Eli, let's hear what you got to say.
I thought it was really dope. I really fuck with. I didn't like the single, the Footsie Shuffle, whatever you want to call that shit. I hated that song, but nonetheless, I feel like that whole album was really, really good. It definitely caters to this new generation of kids that are coming up. Yes, Sirski with 21 Savage, that's my shit. Yeah, I thought it was great, especially coming off of Lil Uzi having troubles putting his album out, him putting out the album, then putting out a second album attached to that album. I thought it was flawless. I thought it was great. Uzi's time, man. Uzi's the future, bro. I'm telling you. People be slacking, but the young kid, he can rap, man. He can rap. Trust me.
Uzi was pretty good. It's actually in one of my more listened to projects this year.
Yeah.
I really like
really good album.
Miller Circles also. It took me a while to listen to it, but it did feel good after a while because I think at first it was hard to listen to after losing him how we did. I'm gonna rep always for my Spanish bag, and I want to shout out the funny album, the Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana, and
yes,
dropped a follow-up album after that too. I forget the name of it. And but
the yellow cover,
that shit's been rocking still to this day, every day for me. So,
absolutely.
Also, don't forget Stormzy, man. Not Stormzy. Smoke DZA out of New York. Closed mouths don't get fed. Hometown shit.
Yeah, I like that album. DZA is very consistent with his projects, and when he puts them out, it's always like he's a very niche artist. I always say that to me, DZA is like the New York Currency, but he doesn't put out as much music as Currency. But I'm talking about his consistency, not his subject matter. Even though they're both of weed culture, I'm just saying as far as consistency, and it's never going to be a whack project, and you're going to get bars that might not fly off the shelves, but they're going to give their fans exactly what they want. The artist that I want to talk about, because a lot of people are saying he is next up, is Lil Baby, because QC seems like they can't lose, right? When P had brought Lil Baby to New York and was taking to all the stations, it looked like he literally pulled Lil Baby out the trap and was like, listen, you gonna rap. And Lil Baby was looking at him like, I want to gamble and sell drugs. And he was just like, nah, I got you. And he's gotten better and better and better. And then he puts out this project, My Turn, and then the single that he's put out about a month or two ago.
Bigger Picture.
Huh?
Bigger Picture.
No, I was talking about the project. The song that he put out. I know the Bigger Picture is the album. But he put that out, and there are some people that are arguing, saying he's the best rapper out right now. I would say that he's the hottest. I don't think I can. I like bars too much for me to say that he's the best lyricist out, but I think that he's the hottest rapper out right now. And I think
he's a very, very good rapper. He can really rap.
No, he can. I mean, he can.
He's
and
a
Lil
really
Wayne
good rapper.
Just there, but not there yet. I can't call somebody a very good rapper that just started rapping 3 years ago. I can't. But
I think he needs to get a producer to really polish him and really cater a project to his style and polish those vocals and really get an engineer in there to really take away some of that auto tune, and he could come out with like a really, really classic project if he really narrowed it down.
I agree. Did anybody else enjoy My Turn? What about you, Danny? What you got to say?
I think My Turn was one of the better albums this year. I had been a more of a Gunna fan for a while, just because I was in more vibe shit than anything. But this album kind of finally made me say it. All right, Lil Baby's better than Gunna, even though I love Gunna's project this year too. But
My turn is better than Wanna.
I think My Turn is better than Wanna.
Wanna is more like a vibe. I mean, Gunna is more like a vibe to me. So when I hear his projects, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about sometimes.
And I used to prefer, this was the album that made me like Lil Baby more than Gunna. I preferred Gunna before this, and I think Wanna is a great album, but I think this made me this leveled up Lil Baby for me.
I'm just happy that we can attribute Lil Baby and to be able to experience Gunna and this amazing music. Two of the top artists coming out of the South right now, in my humble opinion. And the fact that you can trade, and I talked about this last week, but being able to draw them both back to Young Thug, man, that's
isn't that amazing? That's amazing.
That's saying a lot, man. One artist who hasn't even reached his zenith yet has already brought us two more artists out of the same camp. I mean, and you had talked about it too, Taurian, Lil Baby's start. And, Thuggy even talked about paying him to not be on the block. Literally put money in his pocket saying, I'll pay you to rap. Literally. As long as you're just not on the streets, bro. And for him to come out with the music that he's coming out with right now, Lil Baby's special, man. And him coming out with the bigger picture during a time when we needed it. I'm not saying it's Kendrick's all right. I'm not saying that at all. But for 2020, it's the record that we needed. He hit the market. He hit the mark right now. How it will be remembered, only time will tell. Well, I think that him being a young artist and having more of an intuitive approach to the music that needs to be coming out, and the fact that he was the artist that came out with the first song highlighting some of the injustices in America versus these bigger artists who kind of took a back seat. I think that was him announcing to himself, if no one else is going to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. And you gotta definitely give him kudos for that.
I was in a room of maybe 4 teenagers. It was one of my friend's little sister's birthday, and all they wanted to do was run that video. That's all we did for 5 minutes was run that video. Well, 10 minutes, run that video back and back. And I think it's important, from what Cosi said, for him understanding the time that he's in and using his platform and knowing that his generation, they're fucking outraged by a lot. And a lot of these young artists we may not always like, but they speak for these kids. And these kids are not able to articulate themselves. A lot of them deal with anxiety, depression, and dealing with this COVID has been really, really rough for a lot of these kids. I've been doing some work out here in Dallas with some teenagers, and they need an outlet just like we used to, but we didn't really know who to go to. And the fact that their generation is stepping up, I think we're going to see a lot more of them doing songs like that and using their platform in the right way. I wish the elders and the seniors could get it together, but it's definitely needed, and it definitely came, like you said, at the right time for sure.
Yeah, are there any albums that you guys are anticipating? I'm just gonna go straight to it.
Kendrick.
I am looking forward to a Kendrick album, but what I'm looking forward to is a Meek album, because I feel that he's being rallied around. Come on, Jay, don't start. He's being rallied around, and a lot of people in the music in the industry are they want him to kind of champion a lot of things, and
they want him to be the next guy.
I don't know if he can handle it. Basically,
I don't think he's mature enough to do it. T. I'm with you there.
I just think that I see what Lil Baby is doing, and I feel like a Lil Baby is achieving what it was envisioned for Meek to do right now, and I think Meek's going to fall flat. But I think that this album will make or break how the trajectory of his career goes forward. Like I think Meek will always be a staple in hip hop, but I think like if he doesn't, he's just going to be known as a dreams and nightmares guy.
But that he had that moment. He had that moment already, and
championship was amazing.
Championship is the moment that was the make or break moment for Meek's career. Him coming out, we didn't know what type of music we was gonna get. We didn't know what type of content we was gonna get. We were literally saying that Championship is gonna make or break Meek's career. So is every album that he drops gonna make it? Like, is that fair? Is that fair to him?
I think it was just good. It was just good. It came out, and you were right. It was either gonna make or break. It didn't break him, but it didn't make him either. It was just really good Meek music.
Social media said otherwise.
We've been saying that for every Meek album.
Yeah, exactly.
For every Meek album. From his
what, Regg?
His first album.
Is this going to be the album that puts Meek over the top? And it comes out and it's just okay. It's not.
You know what the crazy thing is? I think the album. What was the name of the album with Rico and him and Drake and the whole debacle?
Dreams.
Something about money.
I think that one was actually the album that was supposed to do it, but because of that whole right, he blew it up. Because that album was probably one of the most cohesive albums that he had put together with, in terms of the theme, the playlist, the track list, and in its order. That was the album. Like Rico was about to be that single, and then he just, for whatever reason, I feel like Nicki low-key saw that. I have my theories, but I feel like she wanted to sabotage that nigga a little bit and didn't want him to surpass that, because I feel like she did a little pillow talk and fucked up him and his shit, and that's when, whatever.
So you
but
think
I think
they were just chilling in the bed? They were just chilling in the bed. She's like, Drake don't really even like you like that.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Y'all laughing, but that really didn't happen.
That's exactly what happened.
What you said? Nothing.
Because I really liked that album, and then a week later, he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And I think that soiled it. Excuse the expression, but that soiled it for me.
Shenae, you was giving me wild looks. You don't think Meek is on the clock?
I've never been here for Meek Mill personally. I don't. It's not for me. But I think the person that he needed his fans to be, or who they expected him to be after everything he just went through, he just threw all of that shit in the garbage.
Yeah.
Past antics in the last couple days, whether it's related to. No, everything was related to like what's going on like socially, and I think it's fucking whack.
You can't be tone deaf. You're right.
And I like if you're a person that I'm buying into as an artist, and you can't even stand up for my issues and shit that affects me, there's no reason for me to listen to you, because you're not gonna be talking about shit that's relevant to me. And that's just how I feel. I think he's fucking corny, and I'm not here for it.
Okay, all right. I gauged that wrong. I thought you were going to say something completely different, but all right.
What you thought I was going to say?
No, I thought you was about to cape for me, but you just shit on him. You joined us.
I think people expect sometimes for Meek to be more articulate than he's able to be. And certain things, I know he's speaking from a place of passion where he can relate, and that's why we feel him, and that's why it touches a certain way. But in the sense of like, we can look to him to give us songs in terms of the pain of the people of the streets. Like, he understands what we're going through because he's been a victim of the police and the system itself. I would want him to do some tracks like that. As far as like certain of these other niggas being the real advocate and on the front lines, and I don't know if I need a whole album. I may need a verse, talking about it. But I think sometimes we got to look at some of these niggas for face value, and they're just gonna be who they are and give us the tracks that they know that they can hit.
No, and
I say it all the time.
I don't give a fuck to listen to it. I don't want you to just how socially retarded are you?
I say it all the time. He'd be probably
Shenae,
my favorite rapper if he didn't have a cell phone.
I'll edit it out.
So I feel like Meek is a victim of his of who he associates with. I believe that Meek being in line with Ross, him being in close proximity to Hove, I think that because of those because of his associations, we elevate him, because we tend to feel like who you're connected to kind of speaks more to your potential as far as your growth trajectory. And him having those close associations, we do expect a lot more of Meek. because of what he's been through. But I think Shenae hit it on the head in terms of him being tone deaf. And I think that him going through this personal shit as far as whether the mother of his child and all this extra social media shit during his time right now, and him not being vocal about what's happening, the way that he was vocal about prison reform, I think that him also not piping up for Black women being killed and transgender people being killed or whatever. And I'm not saying I expect that from Meek as far as LGBTQ plus rights and shit like that, but I think him being able to talk about the plights of Black women and what, and just Black people being killed in general, him not speaking to that at all. I don't know, that tone deaf shit. I think she said it perfectly. Like, I can't align with you if you don't align with me.
And it's not even to the fact that he has to talk about it, but you're talking about everything else. So you
everything else.
Talk about shit, but you're purposefully talking about ignorant shit, and that's my issue.
Yeah, goofy hood nigga. Like, I don't expect more. I don't expect more, but I'm not gonna down him for being who he is because I have no expectation for him. And I get what Cosi's saying. We kind of set a bar for people based on their associations, but he came in the game as a goofy hood nigga, and he's still a goofy hood nigga.
But we always hold like everyone else to the same standards when it comes to, like, you see it trending all the time. People is like, oh, whoever you associate with, that's who you are. Yeah. You should be able to learn from your peers. So why doesn't that never stands for artists? And I think like that's really weird.
Okay, point.
So I guess I'll say it because I always shoehorn him in here somewhere. I want a J. Cole album.
Who?
I want a J. Cole album.
So we're going to talk about Kendrick Lamar now. We already said that we don't want that album, Rob. We're going to talk about the Kendrick Lamar album that people are talking about that's supposed to be a rock album. That album that's supposed to be coming out, like, everybody's been clamoring, saying, why is Kendrick so quiet? Why is Kendrick not saying anything? Why is he not put out another All Right? Do you think that him being quiet right now is hurting him, or like he just is fine-tuning what he has to put out, and he shouldn't be rushing to do it anyway. He should be putting it out when it's ready.
I mean, he already did put it out. Niggas just didn't want to hear what he had to say. Like, niggas shitted on To Pimp a Butterfly when it first came out, and that album has aged so beautifully and appropriately. I feel like if Kendrick's not in a rush to put nothing out, because nigga, I already gave you some shit years ago. I've been talking about this shit.
Yeah,
I think he's fine-tuning it right now to what's happening. He might be adjusting and adapting, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not mad at him for taking his time. I'll never be mad at somebody for taking the time to get it right.
Yeah, Kendrick's in a spot right now, I think, where he's in a unique spot where a lot of artists want to be, where everyone's waiting on them, and he's not kind of waiting on he's not waiting for the right moment, because whenever he drops, it's gonna be the right moment. So like that's where every artist I think wants to be. He's just in that place right now where he can really take his time, but at the same time, he's kind of up the level on every album. So, from the way that Good Kid, Mad City came out and the story that it told from top to bottom to Pimp a Butterfly being a complete 180 to Damn being as concise as it was, but being a commercial hit. And then to find out that you could play that shit backwards and like it tells you another story in another way. So he kind of upped the ante. Like, I feel like he's not one of those artists that can just push music out like Drake. I mean, I love Drake, but like Kendrick's more concise. He can take his time with his shit, and we'll be here. I mean, if it's a rock album, if he loses an audience, he's going to gain another one. So he'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I know the way that Kendrick works when it comes to putting out albums and like just fine tuning everything and how like intricate he is with certain things, just firsthand seeing it. So I could just imagine like working on an album and then something happens and he's like, no, gotta change this to make it like, relevant to the times. Something else happens. All right, nope, gotta change this. Don't like how it sounds. Like, I just know like so much goes into his process. So I'm sure he's just like, every fucking day it's something. Like something always just has to get fine tuned and done better. I don't think him being silent hurts him because, again, like Jose, he's already been saying it. And he hasn't been a person that's avid on like tweeting shit since 20 whatever, like way back when Section 80 came out. So I think it's gonna be great whatever he comes out with. I think he's just like fine tuning every day.
I think he's also at the point and level of artist where, like what Reg said, he doesn't have to worry about it. But at the same time, I think his music it would be more impactful in a different climate, and he may be waiting till maybe things are a little more settled down, and maybe waiting till after the election. I think he's more understanding when exactly is going to be the exact moment. And I think he knows that his album won't be as impactful as it should be if he drops it now.
Okay.
What the hell are they laughing at?
Rob, niggas are keying.
Rob, let's hear it about the J. Cole album, Rob.
I just want a J. Cole album. I think he has a lot to say. I think especially with the blunder that he made this year earlier, I think the album is going to really be in him talking about that. And
you said the blunder?
It was a blunder. That's the right word, right?
Yeah,
that's a word.
I don't know anybody who just uses blunder like that, but
I think it's a tote bag. That's why I told it. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
I think this will be the album where he kind of sheds a lot of his skin, as opposed to like, yo, I'm not as woke as you think I am. I'm not as smart as you think I am. I think a lot of people has given him a lot of credit for things that we've built for him instead of him openly admitting that. And I think this track alludes to that. So I'm really interested to see what he's going to say. I think he kind of owes us for.
So he's gonna come out with an album admitting that he's dumb.
Like thank you.
So he's like, so why would he? That works. Basically, he's coming out with an album that completely destroys the facade that he's had throughout his entire career. That's basically what you're saying right now.
Exactly.
I think so.
But why would he implode his whole
leave
shit?
it at that?
Like, no, he's not doing that. He's not. That's not going to be. He's not going to talk about. He's not going to discuss. He's not going to.
What do you love, Reg?
He's not going to discuss the No Name situation. He's not going to get in depth about. He may talk about some injustices and shit, but it's going to be on par with the same type of music that he's been coming out with. Period. It's going to be great. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be needed. Don't get me wrong. But it's not going to be some. It's not going to be damn. It's not going to be damn. It's not going to be To Pimp a Butterfly. He's always going to be in Kendrick's shadow because of the fact that he's a great rapper. He's an amazing artist. He's an accomplished lyricist. He's everything under the sun. But at the same time, bro, like that diversity that we're looking for at times, it's not there, bro. It's not there. It's not there.
I think he's going to put out another Revenge of the Nerds, but his own full version of that.
I'm here for Cole. I'm here.
I don't know, man. I think it's interesting. I think because of all the slack that he's gotten over the last couple of years, I think this album is where he's really gonna expand his production, look for a different sound. I think we're gonna get a lot of that through this album.
I hope so.
Because lead with that next time, because that's the opposite of what the fuck you just said.
Thanks, Chloe.
You're welcome.
So can I just say why I was so happy about this J. Cole shit?
Go ahead.
You champion Cole as being like a smart nigga?
I think I've always championed Cole for being the regular guy's rapper. I think he's made his fame on millennials who have college debt and really trying to find their place in the world. I think he's done an amazing job on that.
I'd like to say, Cat, you used to definitely pretend he was more intelligent than he was, all right?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Get all the way the fuck out of here because you've had that argument with me several times.
You sounding like the timeline, Rob. You be sounding like the timeline, bro.
Listen, you backpedaling. We could go back to the footage, I'm sure, too.
Kenny, wait. So this is my problem with Cole because he did build that audience off of like his fans being these people that are in school that have school debt or whatever like that. Because I started listening to Cole when I was in school and I had the debt and all of that shit. So I related. But it got to a point where niggas is out of school now. Niggas is exploring other things. And his shit kind of grew in a direction where he started talking about things that were really happening in the world, but his knowledge is limited there, as the rest of the world has learned now. So now he's faced with this whole situation where, like I'm really not as smart as I pretend to be, and people are seeing me for what I am, which is just an everyday rapping ass nigga. And he should have just did that from jump, and he kind of put his foot in his mouth, hopping on fucking Miguel songs and being woke. Did nobody ask him to do that?
Kill. Is Miguel song?
Why you got that parent look? Anybody asked you to do that?
Nobody asked him to do that, bro. He hopped on a Miguel song about coming through and chilling, and he talking about kneeling. So of course they looking at you like you knowledgeable and you don't really know shit. Yeah. So that's my problem with him.
And I want to cap off the Holy Trinity. Drake's been posting pictures that he's in the studio. I feel like I gotta get Cosi. And
let me tell you,
on a big screen
to quote my man Stephen A. Smith. Let me just tell you, we don't care. We don't care, bro. Dark Lane demos or whatever that shit is, like that's cool. But Regg said it perfectly, bro. Like Drake pumps out music. He pumps out music. It's always going to be a vibe. It's always going to be one that's there. But at the same time, like, we want to talk about critically acclaimed shit. We want to talk about shit that he's a trendsetter. Don't get me wrong. But this album, bro, like I would rather he had not dropped the demo tape joint that he just did and just came out with whatever album that he's working in the studio on. Because that EP shit that he did, that shit came and went. Niggas 2C slide right on past that shit. So for me, I just look at it and say, like, go ahead, Reg. What you got? Go ahead, Reg.
That album, for it being a demo and being a throwaway, it has some hits on it, man. You got Time Flies, you got Landed on that shit. That, like, I still play both of those to this day.
I'm Pain, 1993. That's my shit.
Okay, so guys, I'm sorry, Rez. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but I think you missed the point that Cosi was making. Cosi was saying critically acclaimed body of work, not this song is good. I like this song. I like that song. He's saying that Drake is oversaturating the market so much that he's not giving us a body of work that we can like live and sit with. Like y'all just finished saying, like, Kendrick already gave us the album that we need right now. He's already done that, right? But Drake, he has to continuously keep giving that to remain relevant. His music is fire, don't get me wrong, but as the trends change, he has to come out with a body of work that matches it, which is why you get tracks like War, which is why you have certain records on the demo tape joint that mimic what's going on right now. Whenever there's a shift in the industry, Drake is not that far behind because he's going to absorb that shit, give it to the audience to keep that name bubbling and move on. We have not got a concise body of work that you can sit with since nothing is the same. Nothing was the same.
I don't think we ever will. That's his game.
This
is too late.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point, Cosi. But I think with Drake, he is that artist. Like I wanted him to be an artist like Kendrick that like lives a little and then gives us a project every 6, 7, 8 or whatever months. Because I just like that for artists to like live and then make music.
Months? Not years?
Huh?
Not years, months? That's a high turnover.
No, I'm saying like he gives us music in that turnaround time of 7, 8 months. I would rather him wait like a year or two to put out music. But most artists that are in demand and that are superstars to Drake's capacity and that live on the charts just don't do that. I mean, but I like Drake's music. Like you said, you made a good point in the sense that he hasn't given us an album that like we really sat with since Nothing Was the Same. That's my favorite Drake album. But I'm just looking forward to whatever he has coming out. Whether I'm gonna be disappointed like I was in Scorpion, I mean, who's to say? But I'm gonna still listen.
I'm outside and
Scorpion was still a good album.
I'm anticipating because I think his shoulder this time. I think the thing with Drake is, I think the fact that his streak is broken. I think he's coming back with a vengeance. I think he gave us this because he realized it wasn't good enough to be the album. I think he was in this mode, and I think he heard everybody talking, and then finally his streak broke. And I think he's decided, okay, I'm going to throw all this shit out, put it out anyway, and now I'm going to come back to the drawing board and come back with an even stronger.
What streak broke?
The consecutive number ones on the Billboard, was it? I believe.
I mean, Tootsie Slide went platinum, I think.
But I think consecutive weeks on the Billboard 200 for an album.
That's what it was, yeah. So his streak was finally broken, and I think he's coming. I think he's petty like that. I really do think he's that petty of an individual, and I think that's part of what makes him this great villain mystique that people enjoy.
Great points, everybody. Shenae, it's quiet. What you got? Shenae, quiet.
You don't care about light skin.
Who you want music from?
That's not true. I seem like a Drake hater. I like Drake. I just don't know what he has to offer at this point. I don't know.
He's not struggling no more. Like there's nothing left to say.
Yeah, like what else do you have?
Unless he digs deep and becomes more transparent and candid about his son and that situation and finds a way to connect with people. So I feel like right now he's Drake the facade and like the cool guy. It's like we don't really see him sweat. He got to get vulnerable again. Like we need crying Drake.
His music is about being shallow.
Losses on the new album is probably one of Drake's best moments. I think Losses is one of the best songs in his entire catalog.
I don't need a bunch of. I would like him to. I don't know what I want from Drake. I think that's my issue of why I'm so like. I don't know. Like I like the feel good stuff, but I also like rapping ass Drake. I don't know what I want at this point.
We need Mons Drake. Like we need him to sit down. He needs to go away. Like we don't need that fake Jamaican shit. Like let's stop. Let's put that away. Let's
give so many different characters that I don't know.
Oh, ice cream truck.
That's mad late, bro. That's mad late.
I missed that sound. I don't get that sound in Dallas. I'm sorry.
Probably like mad chopped and screwed ice cream man music.
About Drake. And I always seem like I'm like anti-Drake, and I'm not. I just don't know what the fuck I want from him at this point.
I think we all don't, though, right? Like because it's always so versatile, you can't really put your finger on what the album is always going to sound like. I think Drake is just one of those things where like the music comes out and you just have to interpret it for what it is.
Right, like
unfortunately,
I'm part of More Life Hive. I do not like Scorpion at all.
I love More Life.
Care Package was cool, but the last
More Life was good. Scorpion was cool.
I like Scorpions.
They just shallow.
I like Scorpions R&B.
Jaded is an amazing song.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I think we all have different parts of Drake that we like, and that's why the albums are such mixed bags. Like you just said, you like rapping ass Drake. And for me, I didn't like rapping ass Drake on Scorpion, but I would have loved R&B side Drake from Scorpion. If he would have dropped Scorpion as a 2-piece album and put it one in the summer and one in the fall, because there's something about the way Drake's R&B music hits when it turns into September, into December. It just feels different.
I think
it feels different. That emotion is like
cuffing.
It's either cuffing season or you really, really lonely. It's two of the streams. It's really one of those.
It's when you lose your bitch from the summer and she really goes for her nigga with real money in the winter, because it's easy to be broke in the summer and pull a bitch. You niggas that be broke in the winter, y'all show your ass.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
No groceries, no heat.
Wow.
Whack ass comforter.
No heat.
Look at Drake's coat.
Why you gotta come at niggas? Why you gotta come for the comforter? Like for what?
Look at Drake's peacoat on October 30. Oh, Brokey. He was hurt.
First of all, I have amazing thread count, so I'm not gonna let you throw me under the bus like that.
Oh my God.
So that's one. But I think that's the difference between it. Just we never know what Drake we're going to get, and I think that's why we can't really look at him and really be excited for a project from him. And I think that's why that's his Achilles heel.
Which is what I was going to say. With More Life, at least like it was kind of cohesive in a sense where you got like from one point to like different it took you places, but it was like at least like you got this. I think there was singing stuff on there. I can't remember, but I like the ones that at least like this part is here, but it still takes you somewhere. Like when it's just like it don't need to be like half rap and then half singing and simping. Like at least just tell a story, do some. I don't know, like.
But I think that's why, to me, I'll always say that. To me, Drake's classic is "Take Care" because it's so more well balanced. To me, "Take
Over
Care"
Nothing
really
was the same. You're smoking.
I mean, that's a debatable. That's debatable. I mean,
that's a debate that's always on Twitter.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like
that's a Twitter debate. It's always those two.
Yeah. Use like it's different.
Yeah. I prefer Take Care too to Nothing Was the Same, but Nothing Was the Same is still a classic to me.
Of course, it is.
Oh my
but
God.
I think Take Care really supersedes
it.
We'll be here all night if we do this.
Drake has no classic albums. Stop it.
He doesn't.
He has really great albums, and he has really mid joints. He has no classic, bro.
This is also what you're not taking into account. The fact that when it drops and how long it lives. And yes, there's a lot of people that will still argue with you. To me, it was a classic. I still enjoy it. I still listen to it all the way through. And I have no problem with it.
Oh yeah, I talk. You know, I did talk about this. I talked about. I have to kind of backtrack because I did say that with some albums are classic to individuals, and there are some like unanimous, like everybody feels the same exact way and everybody's on the same accord. So if that's a classic to you, then nobody can ever debate that. Nobody can ever debate that. But critically acclaimed. He does not have a critically acclaimed album. He does not. But he can have a classic to you, but as far as the facts, he does not have a universally critically acclaimed album by pundits and by the culture, just by you. And that's cool.
That reminds me, Cosi, drop your number in this chat so I can call you about No Ceilings after this is over.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Yeah, we gotta talk.
What y'all talking about No Ceilings for?
I said that No Ceilings was mid. I said it was mid. I said but that's another time. That's for another time.
That's for another time.
But Chloe, get the knob paper. Where is the knob paper? Where is it? This nigga's wilding.
We got that conversation.
I'll add this to the conversation about No Ceilings just because we talking, right? I don't think that No Ceilings should be as hailed and as praised as everybody else does.
That's what I said.
Did you niggas not go to college? What the fuck?
I did go to college, but I also heard dedication too.
I listened to that podcast twice. That's not what you said.
And by the way, I'm not just going to let you wait. Time out. I'm not going to let you. I'm not. And thank you for the listen. I'm not going to let you sit here and talk about Take Care not being critically acclaimed. By the way. Because that's just nonsense. It was
who critically acclaimed it? What
a bunch of different publications. I can drop them. It was ranked the 9th highest in the year end of the top 10 list based on 135 lists.
I had Regg with the facts and the stats.
What was the percentage?
And the bandanas.
I like this. I like this Regg. I like this
bandana Regg.
Bandana Regg is different.
So listen, man. Like respect on Take Care. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the nigga has he's put his footprint. Like he's here. You know what I'm saying? What he's done matters.
What are you eating?
Drake music matters.
What?
All Drake matters.
Drake music matters.
Drake music matters.
You gonna close it out, Regg?
So I'm a wrap this up. Hold on 1 second. There we go. So I'm going to wrap this episode up. I want to thank everybody for coming. Shenae, Cosi, Chloe, appreciate you guys. Kort, definitely appreciate you, Kort.
Thank you for having me, dog. Thank you, man.
You got to definitely, right? You heard that, right?
Well, because Kort's very busy. Like he just has.
Bitch, I'm busy. Just because I'm unemployed don't mean I'm not busy.
Shenae, I think I'm coming too because I noticed you like to at least have a day in advance because you like to be camera ready. I appreciate that. Chloe,
she camera ready. She camera ready right now. Don't say that.
This is ridiculous.
Cosi, man, you in HD right now, dogs. You putting us to shame. I'm gonna text you on the side of I find out what setup you got.
Holla at me. I'm happy to help.
Hey, like he about to spit a verse.
But
is these Jordan 4s behind you? What are in these shoeboxes?
And Chloe, I just want to thank you for being our female voice at FKB. I appreciate you, Chloe.
Okay, thank you. I love you.
Thanks for making that time for us. All right. So with that being said, I'm Taurian B.
And I am First Class Regg.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.